Thank you, listeners and affiliates, for making the FishyFins.com internet radio network a success.
Look at her. Holy cow.
So we just landed about 150 to 65 pound tarpon. We're now floating to revive her, running her through some water.
Experts selling the only pedal kayaks with a reverse, pedal forward or backwards. Need a paddle fishing board, SUP, or kayak? You need Westwall Boats.
Well, it turned out to be a beautiful Wednesday. It's a little bit after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got a fresh cup of coffee. I'm watching the clouds clear, and it's turning out to be a pretty nice evening. I think it's supposed to be a super high tide here at Spring Lake, so I think I just might do a little fishing this evening as the sun goes down. Should be nice. Really happy. Had a great day today. I got to talk to some wonderful people. I'll tell you, there's nothing better than talking to some of the local bait shop owners and tackle shop owners and generally the business owners. Really interesting people, been around for years, been in the business generally for generations. And you know, when you talk to them, you kind of get a lot of experience, you get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information about the area, the fishing, the people, the fishermen, the bait, everything. So it's really nice to talk, even history, you know, history of the town, history of the industry here locally. So I had a great time. Spoke to a couple of people that we're going to have on. We added Englewood Bait House, Inc. They're over there on 1450 Beach Road, Suite A in Englewood, Florida. You can call them anytime, 941-475-4511. Find out what kind of bait they have available, what's going on in the store, maybe any specials that they have, stuff like that. One of the owners, Jack, Captain Jack Charters, has a charter boat out there too, so you can talk to him about renting a charter or hiring him for the day, or what their prices are, hours are, and all that good stuff. Really glad I talked to them. We're going to be giving them a call about once a week and just get a fishing report from Englewood. What I'm trying to do is contact bait shops all around Florida here, Southwest Florida, that we would generally want a fishing report from. So we're going to have, you know, TNT Shrimp is over there on the foot of the LG Bean Bridge. We're going to call them every Thursday, and we'll be talking to also Englewood Bait House over in Englewood Beach, further out on the coast there, every Thursday too. And I spoke to a couple of people over at Captain Bob's Bait and Tackle in Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral. And hopefully, when I talk to the owner, we'll be able to get them to sign off on a little fishing report from Cape Coral. And also D&D, Matt Lachey, Bait and Tackle. We're going to talk to them. I didn't get a chance to talk to Debbie or Dave, the owners, but I am going to contact them probably by the end of the week and see if it's okay if we get a fishing report from them. It should work out really good. What I'm trying to do is really cover the whole area, the fishing area, and talk to different bait and tackle shops locally. Find out what kind of bait they have available, what's hitting, what's going on out there, that kind of thing. What kind of fish are hitting and where they're hitting, what they're hitting, and how much it's going to cost to get a little bait or something, see what they have available. So we've gotten quite a few on board, really happy about that. I also talked to Scott this morning. Scott's a great guy. Scott Larsen lives in Newport Richey, Florida. He's a pro staffer. He does. He has quite a few sponsors actually, but we were talking today about Impact Lures, and really great product. It's a great lure. He uses them to fish all across Florida. Really knowledgeable guy. I enjoyed our conversation. He was born up in Jacksonville, Florida, so he's lived his whole life in Florida, born and raised here, and he knows the waters, he knows the fish, and he definitely knows how to work the bait. So Scott's here on the West Coast with me on the Gulf Coast of Florida, so it was pretty cool to talk to him a little bit about what's going on up there in Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg. Last time I was up at St. Pete, there's a little place called Fort DeSoto down on South St. Pete Beach, and you could do some really nice blue fishing right on the shoreline there. So I really had a good time. Beautiful water up there. And Scott's really a great guy, real nice guy. It was fun talking to him. I see that he's going to be in a tournament later on this month, an IFA redfish tournament, a big one. up in Titusville, Florida, I believe it is. And I guess there's a really nice boat as the first place prize winner gets to drive away with the boat. So we were talking about that a little bit. Talked about some of the fishing there in Pasco County, some of the baits he uses, some of his technique. Excuse me, some of his technique. Really knowledgeable guy, so I enjoyed it. I think you're going to like it. This was just kind of a welcome and a meet and greet, and later on this week he's going to have his own fishing report coming out of Tampa Bay, and it actually covers that whole area from Safety Harbor, that inlet through there, all the way out to the coast, Port Richey, down into Tampa Bay. So smart guy, really knows those waters well, so it should be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. So he's coming up here in just a second. And I also wanted to say that I appreciate everybody's input, and right now, we're not paying anybody anything. So if you say any advertisements of any marinas, any boat captain, charter captain guys, fishing charter guys, even the pro staffers and stuff, they're not getting paid to do anything for us. We're not getting paid at all to, run ads, to put people's pictures up, put their videos up, stuff like that. So, if you want to send in your videos, if you're a fishing boat captain, send me a video. I'll stamp it all over with your phone number, your website, some good music to play along with whatever sound you send with the video, and send you a copy of it so you could use it for your marketing and put it on your Facebook page. We'll use it inside of the FishyFins network. Get you some marketing out there, get you some coverage. It doesn't cost you anything, and we love to have the content. We love to show people catching fish and reeling them in, and just make sure that your phone number's on it, and that anybody watching could call you to book a charter. So it's really a great deal. We'd appreciate any input and anything you want to send us. Just email any videos to thefish@fishyfins.com, and I'll get it, no problem. And I sure do appreciate it. We're going to be back in just a second with Scott, and I'm going to do a little fishing report I have from Charlotte Harbor, actually over on the artificial reef. Great news out there. So we'll be back in just a second. All right, we're getting ready to go to that clip with Scott, and Scott Larsen, great guy, pro staffer. He's going to be talking about some impact lures. And I wanted to tell you, I was reading Matthew M. Stevens. If you're ever in Facebook and you want to read a good blog, a fisherman's blog, just search for Matthew M. It's M. Stevens. It's a word. His first name, his middle initial, and then his last name, all separate. And read his blogs. They're great. He was just saying how they're in Tallahassee. They just set their new red snapper recreational seasonal waters for Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. And it just kills me every time I read about the politicians getting together and doing something for us. I think, wow, I wonder what this is going to cost us this time. But he had that in his blog days, so if you get a chance, definitely search for that and check it out. He's got a great blog. He's got some great recipes too. Talks to people on the pier, gets out there and fishes himself, and tells you all about it. And really, really great blog. So if you get a chance, check that out. And we're going to go to Scott now, and then I'll be back with a little fishing report for Charlotte Harbor, and we're going to wrap it all up. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Report for around the area. Now you're up in Pasco County, is that correct?
Yeah, I fish Pasco County and down Pinellas County. I actually work around Tarpon Springs area and up in Pasco a little bit, but then I go down fish down around Tampa area too when it's getting the later of the year.
Very nice. Well, how's the fishing shaping up around there? What have you been doing this past month for fishing? You guys going after snook here with season opening? You're still hitting the reds?
We're getting the redfish and the trout. We're catching a lot of big speckled trout right now, especially in the Palm Harbor area. They're on the barrier islands right now. Top waters, jigs, shrimp, live pinfish. But the bigger ones are pretty much shallow, so we target them with like plastic baits. And it's pretty much sight fishing for these bigger fish. And it's kind of neat to sight fish for these big trout.
Oh, it's something. I talked to a couple of guys on the other coast last week, and they're fishing for the same fish, and of course it's all deep water over there, so they're out there running around just trying to get them to bait up and catch their bait. So they really got to hunt. And sight fishing here when you're getting on these flats is fantastic on this coast. It really is, especially this time of year. The water's kind of coming up a little bit higher. It's getting nice and clear. But well, let me ask you this. You mentioned playing around on top water. I was looking at that Loxahatchee Walker that Impact Lures has, and I love top water. I mean, I just go crazy on it. Matter of fact, I'll wait an hour to get a hit just playing on top water. Now, how do those baits work out for you around that area?
They work really well, especially for the bass and the saltwater. You can do both. But the saltwater, they do really well for the big trophy trout. You just can't overwork them. A lot of people, they overwork them too fast. You just got to slow it down to like 1 or 2 twitches. And I had a little bit of procure to it just to get it a little bit of scent, because the trout actually will come up behind it and watch it. So you get it right. And then when you stop it, then they get mad and kill it. And the snook, you fish around the mangrove lines, you know, inside the rivers right now, and just, I call it combat fishing. And you just throw it up there around the mangrove areas and just twitch it and try to keep it right there. Don't try to pull it out too quick, and then come out of the mangroves and kill it. And same also with the redfish. Them baits are really good.
Very nice. Yeah, you're getting up there tight in the mangroves with them. You know, that's a big thing too around here right now. If you really got to get in there where the roots of the mangroves are coming down, a lot of those fish are kind of laying in wait. And as soon as they see something come up that looks appetizing, like you said, they're all over it. So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to try this. I like walkers. I really like those top baits. I'm going to try. I saw that, and I saw the little Benny minnow. And I'm actually, I'm looking at their catalog here, and you know, they got a great variety of colors and sizes and everything. Really awesome.
Yeah, and they're great for bass fishing too. I've been catching a lot of 9 and 10 pound bass on these lures, and you can catch so many fish on it and won't hardly get a scratch on it. The finish on them baits is really good.
That's a big thing. I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. I went out with a rattle trap here about 2 weeks ago. I was fishing out here just inside of Boca Grande Pass, and I think I got maybe 3 nice trout on it. And by the time I got the 3rd hit, I reeled it in, and the whole side of the rattle trap was peeled right off of it. And I thought, well, so much for, you know, my $9 my $9 rattle trap here. That didn't work out at all. And so, yeah, I'll tell you what, if a lure will hold together like that, taking a beating out here, boy, that's a plus and a half, ain't it?
Yeah, when you're spending that much money on a bait, and I fish other brands, and I get the same result on both lures, but that other bait that costs $10, it crack. It won't even last a whole day at a sink. I have to throw it away.
Yeah.
Because, and that's just trout fishing. And you won't believe how hard a big trout can really hit that bait and actually crack that plastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then you get one good redfish over, 30 inches, and it's done. It'll crack the back, you know?
Yep, they're done. Absolutely. Yeah, the last thing you need is a hook ripping right out of the bait when you're trying to get a big fish to come in or it cracking on you. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking when you wanted just a picture, you know, and no!
It's like, oh no, at least give me a jump in the picture here.
It's bad. I have them done like that where the whole back end is actually ripped out the plastic.
Oh no, yeah, I go crazy. That's for sure. I'd show up at the bait shop and give it back. What happened here, folks? You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
They would come in and you just caught too many fish on it. Just, you know.
You got your money out of it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's how I only fished one day, you know.
Unbelievable. Well, let me ask you something. You had mentioned soft baits too that you're using with Impact. That's working really good for you. I know when you're throwing up around the mangroves, if you're using a heavy triple hook on a lure, you could get in trouble pretty quick. But soft baits, you could hide that hook and sneak it up there. How are you making out? Which soft baits are you using up there from Impact that's really working out for you?
Actually, that's 12 Phantom. I'm throwing with that. Yeah, it's Phantom 12.
Okay.
And that's a slam I've been throwing a lot lately, and I've been fishing that bait for years. And I catch huge redfish, trout, snook on them. The root beer, red flake's good. That's one of my personal best. The white and a chartreuse and a mango. But they're all real good, and you don't have to overwork. I still add my Procure on it, and I actually use mullet on it because you put the shrimp on it, the little pinfish eat the tail off.
Sure.
But they just don't touch it as much. But I'm actually sight fishing with this bait, and just throw it and just barely swim it, and the redfish will pick it up, and we're catching really big redfish off of them.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, you know, it does make a big difference if you can get a soft bait to play with out there, and especially, like you said, getting tight into those roots and mangrove areas, you're definitely going to do a whole lot better and probably save a little bit of money, or at least not to have to go swimming or climbing to go after your lure. So that's for sure. But
yeah, that's what. Yeah, but I throw in there pretty heavy, and that's how you're going to get that trophy fish. Anything that's nasty, you know. You just have to go in there and run and get it, you know. But the 12s are really good for sight fishing, and they just work really well on a light jig, like a 1/8 ounce jig.
Oh yeah.
And I like fishing non-painted jigs too. I don't like the painted.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're playing with them a lot. What do you think about these little rattler jig heads that they're selling now? They have these little shots that they're putting on them that make a lot of noise. Have you played anything with those at all, or?
I haven't messed with it, but anything with noise, it's going to work. You know, you need just a little bit of noise to work with any species of fish. Like the walkers and stuff, they walk and they make a little bit of noise with the treble hooks and stuff, but that rattle, you gotta have a rattle pretty much in the bait.
Yeah, it probably gets a lot more attention than, you know, when even the twitch of a shrimp. If you ever heard a shrimp take off underwater, you ever dive? I used to scuba dive all the time, and you get close to a couple of shrimp, you can actually hear them click and pop when they take off. And so, you know, a little rattle would mimic that sound a little bit, would probably definitely pay off, at least entice a fish maybe, you know, by the end of the day to hit that bait.
Yeah, scent and noise and the action of the bait, that's the 3 keys for that bait. The scent's really important too. That's why I use that ProCure.
Yeah, the ProCure, yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about ProCure. It's really, I think the scent, once you get a fish to come up, especially the soft baits, if you can get something like that ProCure inside of that cut where you hide the hook in there, so when they bite it, they get a little sensation that they actually, you know, have a live bait there. They're definitely, if they miss, going to come back, or they're going to swallow that thing and hold on to it. So it definitely gets them either on the hook or coming back to hit it again, that's for sure.
Yeah, because you get a lot of skittish fish when the tide ain't right and they're not really eating, but they'll follow that bait. But then when you here's a tip, when you put that ProCure on, actually put it on the hook. Don't try to put it, don't put it on the back of the back of the bait, because you're going to get pinfish and everything. Wherever you put that ProCure on, that's where you're going to hit it. They'll mostly you put on the jig head. Actually, on the jig head it'll work. I try to put it right there on the hook and right there under the hook, and that stuff sticks on there really good, and you'll get better hookups and everything. Your tails won't be missing, you know.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Much. Yeah, that helps out a lot of people there.
Oh, definitely. I tell you what, it's if you have as bad a luck as I do sometimes fishing, you need all the tips you can get. That's for sure. But
yeah, I learn every day. I just study. You know, every time I go out, why did that fish hit like that? You know, what's going on with the weather? You know, you'll learn every day out there. I don't care how good of a fisherman you are. There's something out there. That fish is going to do something different.
Oh yeah, well I tell you what, I was reading up on your site on you a little bit. Now I see you were born in Jacksonville and lived over here on this coast here for some time, so you definitely know the local fishing well. So yeah, it does make a difference. I can't emphasize enough to people when we talk to them on a radio show that if you're new to fishing, you come to Florida from someplace else, you want to learn, you got to get with a local. You know, you got to get with somebody that knows the water, they know how to advise you, they know what they're doing. You know, so that's great stuff.
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, you don't know what you're doing, and the water, you know, it's so shallow on this side of the coast, you could get very in trouble.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Newport Richie is really bad. It could be half a mile dry, you know, and then as you come in, and our tides ain't very high on this side. As you know, I don't know how... You get 3-foot tides down there too, and it's just not very high tides.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's you get around any of these island keys or these Gulf keys or even the harbor keys that are inland a little bit, and the shoals usually run about 200 to 500 yards out from the beach line or the shoreline. and you get caught inside. And there's some deep holes, so if you get over there on high tide and you don't know what you're doing and the tide goes out, you're going to be camping out for the night. You're staying there, so it's...
Yeah, I actually done that in Jacksonville too, because that water rushes out so quick. They got like 5 to 7 foot tides over there. I mean, it drops, really quick. And you're back there in them creeks, you're stuck. You know, on the redfish tour, they had guys out there eating sandwiches and stuff, and it was dry land. They had to wait. I think 23 boats got stuck that day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
It definitely pays to check with the people locally what's going on before even if you're a pro running out there in a tournament. I mean, if you don't really know the local waters, you can get yourself in trouble quick. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you gotta watch the water. Yeah, it ain't no fun being stuck out there. You know.
Nope, I've had to call boats U.S. a couple of times. They're U.S. boats. And they're great. You know, they try not to laugh at you. You know, all these guys that work for these tow companies, most of them are local fishermen, and they kind of cheat on the side. So they come up a couple of times, and I caught you laughing over there. I saw you, and he started laughing. And you know, God knows how many people they do pull off the shawls around here. But glad they're there when you need them, though.
I know. You know, it's so easy to make mistakes. You know, you just think that water's good enough to go through, and it just, you know, you got too much weight in the boat.
Oh, yeah.
You got that extra person, and you forget about stuff like that. You know, you're like in the mood to go fishing.
And you know, the water's tricky. You know, you're looking out there and you think it's getting deeper over there, and it's just a little bit darker mud or soot on the bottom, and that's not deep at all. It's just a stingray's nest. And it's, you know, it can be real tricky out there if you don't know. But let me ask you this, Scott. I know that you have a tournament coming up with your son here by the end of the month. Is that correct?
Yes. We're going to be fishing Titusville next week, actually.
Very nice. What kind of tournament you got up there?
This is the IFA Redfish Tour, and we're fishing for a boat. It's around $35,000 boat. A lot of pros. We have Rick Murphy out there, Paige, Greg Duvall. We got all these. Yeah, it's a big tournament. It's not, but anybody can enter. I mean, anybody can enter the tournament. You know, it's. We've been doing very, very well in the tournament. We're in points right now. It's 20. You know, you keep 2 live redfish, 18 to 27 inches. They got to be alive. And the biggest weight wins, and I think it pays all the way to 20th place.
Very nice. I think it's a little bit something for everybody. Very nice.
Yeah, and 20th place, I think it pays $500 or $1,500. So you know, for a $200 or $250 entry fee, it's not bad. I mean, you're not winning just $1,800. You know, paying $150. I mean, it's a really good, fair tournament. It's big sponsors, you know, and it's a fun tournament. I enjoy fishing this.
Oh, yeah, you know what? It's fun, and you got a better chance of return on your $250 than you would if you played the lottery, that's for sure. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, I don't do very good at lottery, so I'm just trying to do the fishing thing.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. Well, Scott, I sure do appreciate it. I know you're real busy. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and we'll probably get back with you after the tournament and see how you made out, and hopefully you'll have a brand new boat you're pulling back with you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I sure will. I'll take some video, and I'll have some more videos up pretty soon about all the products and everything, and I'll get back with you later.
Sounds great, Scott. Hey, good luck to you and your son, and I sure do appreciate your time, bud. We're going to get back to you and get some great information from you. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Well, I sure appreciate it, Scott. Like I said, he's a smart guy, and he knows a lot about the waters up there, and I'm really looking forward to his shows coming up. So thanks again, Scott. And Impact Lures, great product. If you go to FishyFins.com, you click on Scott's link, his channel on the left side, and then you can click on the Impact Lures link on there, and you can buy any lure you want directly from them. They're handmade. As a matter of fact, you could even order it made the way you want it. So if you have a preferred color or something like that, they actually have a whole, go to their website and check it out. But they have a whole section for doing that. Really cool stuff. So I sure do appreciate it, Scott. We're looking forward to a lot more coming from you. And let's see, what else do I have here? That's it. We're going to the fishing report for Charlotte Harbor. I knew I had this here someplace. Actually, the artificial reef I was going to talk about more than anything. That's the Alligator Creek Reef. That's right off of Alligator Creek. I'll tell you what, I got to tell you a story. I grew up out in Pirate Harbor, and we had a guy named Bert Dodd. He was a shrimp fisherman out there for many years, and as a kid we used to go up and buy shrimp from him to go fishing, and great guy. If you had money, he'd give you them anyway, whether you had it or not. He's just a nice guy. And but we were out there one day, and everybody's dad used to hang around there on weekends and have a couple of beers and talk about fishing all the time in his garage. And they were all in there arguing one day about snook and what snook hit, and there were some new snook lures out, and everybody was, you know, all happy and giddy about their little special snook thing. And so old Bert Dodd gets up and he laughs. He says, "Let me teach y'all a lesson right now." And he goes and gets this about a 3/0 triple hook, and he takes, back then we had beer tabs. He'd peel that tab off the top of the beer, and it would give you actually a tab on your finger. And he takes 2 of those tabs and slides it over the hook so that the tabs are hanging off the bottom of the hook, and the center of the hook is, you know, where it ties on, it's going up through the tab ring. And he puts 2 of them over that little triple hook. Then he hooks on a wire leader onto it, puts a weight on it, and casts it out and starts reeling it in across the canal. This is out there in Pirate Harbor. I believe he was on Captain Kidd, I think. I can't remember now. And after about 5 minutes of casting that thing out and ripping it across the top of the water as fast as he could, he caught a snook. And came in there and says, "All I'm saying is that I don't care what you're using for bait. If it's loud, if it's moving really fast across the water, and if it's shiny, something in there is going to hit it." In this case, it was a snook. And he proved everybody right. I don't care what you're using. Your bait works, your lure works, your jig works. Yeah, it all works. And it was hysterical. But you know, that being what it is, artificial reef, just about anything that you drop in the water over there right now is catching sharks, it's catching cobia. If it's going fast along the top of the water, they're tarpon, they're big ladyfish, there are bluefish out there. Even the mackerel are still going with the warm water, going hard. So anything that you're hanging down that's bloody, that's hanging in the water, that's smelly, that's meaty, a cobia, a shark is going to grab a hold of. You get it down low enough, you might get on some drum down there. Anything high in the water that's moving quick, you're reeling it in fast or just trolling, you're probably going to get ladyfish, you're probably going to get bluefish, probably going to get some tarpon. There's just mackerel, there's just fish. Right now the water's warm, the tides are coming up higher, everything's happy feeding. You know, there's so much chum out there, so much bait out there that, you know, the big fish are just going crazy and getting fat and hungry and lazy. So I don't know about lazy, but they're definitely getting hungrier and hungrier and more aggressive. So if you're out there fishing on the artificial reef, you really can't miss. You know, whether you, I tell you, to me, the winning game for me with the artificial reef is, and I'm not really looking for fish to take home all the time to eat. I just like to have fun. But since Dad has a bow rider, we go out to Alligator Creek and that whole area, just where the creek entrance comes in, where the channel markers are, and just south of there, we just pull spoons around. We get a bunch of ladyfish together, throw them in the well, and go out to the artificial reef and cut up some cut bait, and it's just cobia and shark time. And it's a lot of fun. You know, on the way out there, sometimes leave, and if there's not too much traffic, I'll pull a 1 ounce spoon, you know, on the way out there about 4 knots just outside of those north markers. And I don't know what it is, but I always end up with something there, you know, whether it's a tarpon, a little tarpon right now, or big tarpon right now. Definitely mackerel when they're all over there, bluefish, ladyfish all over the place. So, you know, it's just a fun fish. It's a good time right now. Getting out there, you really can't miss. If you're, you know, fishing on the top of the water, pulling something through the water, make it shiny and loud, and it's going to get hit. If it's, you know, something big underneath like shark and cobia, if it's bloody and smelly and it's sitting there, they're going to grab it. So it's just good fishing right now. Even the Myakka cutoff area, going up into the Myakka, going up into the Peace River, that whole convergence zone where the rivers meet, the Charlotte Harbor, and it's, you know, it's 3 different masses of water that come together, and the bluefish love to run up there. Ladyfish, tarpon, everything's going to run around up there. So it's a lot of feeding. You know, the North Hole out there in North Charlotte Harbor, getting down to the Pirate Harbor Hole, that's just off Pirate Harbor out there. You know, there's just fish everywhere. So whether you're fishing on the bottom, you're looking for cobia, drum, and sharks. If you're fishing on the top, looking for the tarpon, the mackerel, the bluefish. If you just like fishing for ladyfish for their fun, because they're fun, they're out there, so enjoy it. It's Wednesday, it's clearing up, so I'm getting ready to finish my coffee here. I think I'm going to head out with the top bait. I don't know, I think I'm going to try that Rebel 2. I think I'm going to try that, see how it works. I got a red and white one, it's got a little knocker in it, a little top water, maybe walk the dog action, and see how that works out. But anyway, we'll be back with you guys soon. We've got some great people coming up. Like I said, we have some new tackle shops, bait tackle shops that come on board. So we'll have fishing reports from all around Florida. So that's, or I should say all around Southwest Florida. As far as our locals here are concerned, we've got Scott coming in now. Scott Larsen, great guy, great information. He's up in Pasco. He's in Tampa Bay, that whole area, Safety Harbor, Newport Richey. Got the Canoe Kayak Club out of Fort Myers. They're over there on the Caloosahatchee. We're going to start doing weekly fishing reports out of the Caloosahatchee, plus a couple of bait shops in Fort Myers. I talked to a guy in what is that place down there off Matt Lachey? I can't think of the name of his place. Great guy. He has a boat charter business down there, and make sure before I talk to him again I know what his name is, because that would not be good. But we got a lot of great people coming up, and got some great shows coming up. It's all coming together little by little, considering there's no money changing hands here. Nobody's getting paid, nobody's making money. You know, what the heck, it's a lot of fun, some great stories, and we're going to make it work. So I appreciate everybody's input. Got a lot of great people coming up, got some new sponsors coming in. I should say some pro reps coming in that have sponsors. We don't have any sponsors, well, yet I should say. But some great pro reps coming in from all across Florida. Talked to some lure manufacturers in Texas. So we're probably going to add Texas in the next month or so and start adding some pro staffers for lure manufacturers out of Texas. So they're going to have their product, they're going to have videos, they're going to have their own shows where they're talking every week about their product and their fishing experience and all that. So got some really great stuff coming up. Looking forward to a lot more, and I sure appreciate everybody. You have a wonderful day, and get out there, go fishing. And if you see some guy on the boat coming up to you with a camera and a big fuzzy mic, just be cool and give me a fish story, because I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a great night.